I'm Jennifer, and today we are taking a look at how to spot a fake Catholic book. Okay, so there are Catholic books and there are Catholic books. There are Catholic authors that we know and love, like Scott Hahn, St. Therese, Mike Aquilina, but there's a whole nother world out there of fake Catholic books. These books look like they might be really good on the outside, but when you start reading them, you quickly discover that on the inside, they have some major problems. Okay, so I'm going to show you some actual fake Catholic books that we had on the shelves of our Catholic library at church. Last spring, our library moved to a nice new building and we did a massive inventory, and we found out that we had a lot of dubious fake Catholic books on the shelves. So as I show these to you, you might recognize some of these books. You might recognize some of the authors. You might even have some of these books and like them. If that's you, please don't get upset. We were in the same boat. We had these books on our shelves and then had to learn painfully that they're not all good Catholic books. So we used online sources like EWTN and Catholic Answers to weed out the fake ones, and I'll get into all of that later. So let's take a look. Okay, the first thing to consider if you think a book might be a fake Catholic book is the title. If the title is suspicious, then the book bears further investigation. The very first fake Catholic book I ever spotted at our library was a book called The Good Enough Catholic. Now that's an interesting title, so I took it home and read it. What is a good enough Catholic? And I discovered that being a good enough Catholic means using common sense and picking and choosing which Catholic doctrines you want to believe in. Okay, so that one had to go. That was the first fake Catholic book I ever nixed from the church library. Recently, we had this one donated to the library, Welcome Home, a practical guide to home churches, small groups, home fellowships. So this one caught my eye because welcome home, that's definitely a phrase used in Catholic evangelization. However, practical guide to house churches, okay? I'm like, we talk about domestic churches, but a house church, what does that mean? So I started reading it, and house church definitely means what it says. It means you're starting a church in your own home. This book gives you practical advice on how to elect your female deacons and where to buy your crackers and grape juice so you can have communion at home. This is a fake Catholic book. And then one of my very favorite fake Catholic books that I've found lately is Angels Speak, How to Talk with Your Angels. This one had me suspicious because I'm thinking, your angels. Now, I know I have a guardian angel, but as far as I know, I only have one angel, not a heavenly host. So I started reading it, and sure enough, in this book, the author states that you have multiple angels, and now they're going to help you with like job applications and financial advice. She's going to show you how you can write letters to your angel, and then they can write back to you, because they might send you a letter on your computer, or they might write an entry for you in your prayer journal. You're going to figure it all out by reading this book. And another way to spot a fake Catholic book is to know your authors. The Vatican doesn't have a banned book list per se anymore, but there are definitely authors out there whose work is not approved by the Vatican. So one example, brace yourself because I know a lot of people like this author, is Anthony de Mello. We had several of his books on our library shelves because we're volunteers and we just didn't know. But after we did one of our Big Ben of Catholic book unboxings video, I actually had a viewer contact me, a very kind and knowledgeable viewer who said, Jennifer, you did know that Anthony de Mello's work was condemned by Cardinal Ratzinger in 1998? And I was like, no, actually I didn't know that, but thank you so much. I mean, again, I said we learned the hard way, so it was very humbling to hear that, but I'm ever so thankful to our viewer who brought that to our attention. So we pulled all his work out of the library. I looked it up, and yes, indeed, in 1998, Cardinal Ratzinger, who became Pope Benedict XVI, and the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith issued a statement that said de Mello's work is contrary to the Catholic faith and can be very harmful. So there you go, fake Catholic book. There are definitely other authors out there whose work is suspect, and EWTN has a good list, which I will link below for you. A third way to spot a fake Catholic book is if the book is talking about some type of impending doom or disaster that you as a faithful Catholic have never heard about before. For example, recently we had these two books donated to the library: Prepare for the Great Tribulation by John Leary. And so by this time, our staff is a little more savvy. Before just adding these to the library, we decided we're going to research this because we've never heard Father Mike talk about the Great Tribulation that's coming. So sure enough, John Leary was a supposed Catholic visionary. He said that he was receiving messages from Jesus. However, if you Google him, which is always a good thing to do, Google the author, you'll find that his bishop actually issued a warning against this work, saying that this work contains grave theological and doctrinal errors. So there you go. Watch out for the Great Tribulation. Another type of Catholic book to be wary of is a book that looks really Catholic on a subject that you really like, but the author claims to be an expert in the field and you've never heard of that author. Now, I'm a Marian reader. I love to read about the Blessed Mother. So when I saw this book, I was all excited. Janice T. Connell is the author, and she claims to be a worldwide Marian expert. And I thought, that's odd because I've never heard of her before. So I Googled her and I found out that she's written several books, Catholic books, and evidently she had or has a radio show and operates the Pittsburgh Center for Peace. But I could find so little information about her online that would verify her status as a worldwide expert that it made me really suspicious. So I took this book home and started to read it, and there is a lot of really sound Catholic theology in this book. There's a lot of John Paul II in there. But then as you read it, there's also some stuff that's a little bit odd. For instance, the author is writing as if the Blessed Mother is speaking to her, but she doesn't tell you, is she receiving visions of the Blessed Mother, or is she just writing what she thinks that Mary would say? And Mary says some interesting stuff in this book. For instance, you need to prepare yourself to receive Jesus by exercising. You need to eat right and exercise so you're ready and worthy to receive Jesus. Right there. There you go. So out of an abundance of caution, we pulled this book from the library shelves because, we have people from the parish checking books out, and we don't want to lead anyone astray or give someone a book that's not sound. So if you know anything about Janice T. Connell or this book, I would love to hear it. So here is a similar type of book called Everyday Grace by Marianne Williamson. It has a nice picture on the cover. It talks about having hope, finding forgiveness, all good. One of our librarians pulled it and said, well, it says up here it's the author of the Illuminata. What's the Illuminata? Well, none of us knew. We had never heard of that. So we started to investigate, and it turns out that this book is written out of the author's experience with I Ching and magic and different faiths and different religions and mystical visions. Definitely not a Catholic book, even though the cover looks very promising. The last book that I'm going to show you today that we pulled off the library shelf is this one, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Living the Catholic Faith. Now, I know a lot of you out there have probably read the Chicken Soup series, read it, liked it. It's been around for a long time. However, what we learned recently is that the author, Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, these two guys are noted New Age spiritualist writers. If you go to Amazon and look up Jack Canfield, he pops up as a popular author in the New Age and spiritualism category. Once again, EWTN was very helpful with more information about the Chicken Soup series, so go there if you want to learn more, but definitely approach these with caution. Okay, we have several other screening tools that we use here before we add a book to our library. We have a series of questions that we go through. The first question is the author Catholic? That's when Googling the author comes in very handy. We ask, is the publisher Catholic? If the answer to those questions is no, it doesn't necessarily mean that the book can't be added, because let's face it, C.S. Lewis, great Christian writer, he's not Catholic. We have plenty of his books, but it just means that maybe we want to investigate more. We will check in the front of the book to see if it has the nihil obstat or the imprimatur, and this just means that a Catholic priest or bishop has looked at this book, has read this book, and approved it as being free from doctrinal error. Now, this doesn't mean that the priest or bishop who read the book agrees with everything in the book. It just means that there's nothing in the book that is contrary to the Catholic faith, so the book can be printed. And again, if it doesn't have the nihil obstat or the imprimatur, it doesn't mean that it's a bad book and that we can't read it or enjoy it. It just means we want to look at it a little more closely. So to do that, the first thing we'll do is ask other librarians, hey, have you heard of this book? Have you read it? Do you know anything about the author? Often we can find out a lot about the book that way. I already mentioned we will Google the author because that's very helpful. We also look at the Amazon reviews. We read a lot of Amazon reviews when we're trying to decide about a book. Many times also, we will just take a book home and read it. We don't want to unjustly or unfairly nix a book from the library, so a librarian will volunteer to screen it at home. Often, if there's a problem, it's quickly uncovered when you sit down and start reading page after page. And then we also will ask our priests and deacons to look over a book and weigh in on what they know and what they think. We do have one deacon in particular who has been very kind and helpful in helping us screen books. Okay, so that is a look into the world of fake Catholic books and how to spot them. If you know of an author or a book that definitely should be on our fake Catholic book list, a book that we should be on the watch for, definitely let me know down in the comments. One of the best things about our channel is all the help and information that our viewers give us. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it was helpful for you, and I will see you next time. Bye.